Field upgrades for Battlefield 4. Now, I never did a video on the original information for this because by the time I actually got round to looking at it, it was pretty old news, and a lot of my friends on YouTube, Matt the Musketeer, Lutin, Vital Syntax, had already done videos on it, so I assumed you guys already knew what was going on, and judging by the comments on my previous video as well, you guys had a general idea. But what you may not have noticed is in a recent blog post by DICE, they've actually revisited some of those perks in that new system, and they decided to change them based on community feedback. Perhaps tweaked isn't the right word, perhaps more clarification was needed, because DICE went back to their head gameplay designer Alan Kurtz and he came out and gave a little bit more clarification on what some of these field upgrades actually do, some of the more, I don't know, controversial ones perhaps. So let's kick off with the new armor perk for Battlefield 4. It's making a return from Battlefield 2, 2142, and it actually made an appearance in Bad Company as well. However, Bad Company did it slightly differently. It actually increased your overall health. In Battlefield 4, however, it's going to follow in the footsteps of Battlefield 2. It's not going to increase your overall health. It's simply going to make the upper chest hitbox a little bit more resistant to shots. What this essentially means is that hitbox now requires a higher damage model than the one before if you didn't have the armor perk. That means one hit kill snipers at close range, shotguns, pretty much any weapon, probably not tank shells, but most weapons at close range now require a little bit more power to be put into that hitbox in order to drop the player. They have made it quite clear, however, that armor does not affect any of the other hitboxes on your player, i.e. if it's your head, arms, legs, whatever, it doesn't get affected by that, so you're still completely unprotected from the armor perk on those hitboxes. Here's a quote from what Alan Kurtz actually said: "Body armor is for counteracting close quarter battle sniper rifles and not much else." So what they've essentially done is come out and say that what looked like the most overpowered perk for Battlefield 4 now looks slightly underpowered in my opinion, because if it's not going to do a huge amount more than simply protecting one hitbox on the body, I can't see myself equipping it, to be honest. Reduced Fall is another perk that sort of led to a bit of confusion in the Battlefield community over this new perk system, and they've come out and clarified that one too. Reduced Fall actually only decreases the amount of health you will lose by jumping under a certain height. Above that height, this perk makes absolutely no difference. The scenario they've actually given is if that you jump from a second story building, that would normally cause 25 damage. With Reduced Fall enabled, that causes no damage. However, if you jump from a third story building and you have Reduced Fall on, it will still cause 50% damage, the same as it would do as if you didn't have Reduced Fall on. For me personally, I'm quite glad that they actually clarified what this perk was going to contain, because it looked kind of overpowered compared to some of the others, much the same as armor, which is probably why they actually made this list, because these ones that they've got here were sort of the overpowered ones when you look at them at first glance. But now they've clarified what they're actually going to be doing, again, it just shows that the work they've actually put into Battlefield 4 in comparison to Battlefield 3 really. The third perk that they've come out and clarified how it works is Stealth. Now this is another one that looks slightly overpowered, because if you have a suppressor in Battlefield 3 you stay off the minimap. There's not many other ways to actually stay off the minimap in that game, but for Battlefield 4 they specifically expressed if you're using normal speed you will stay off the minimap and you will be impervious to motion balls, tugs or motion sensors. However, they've come out and said if you sprint you will be detected by motion sensors even if you've got the stealth perk enabled. That means for snipers that are running in and out of buildings, you're going to need to walk, otherwise you will appear on the minimap. The idea being that it's easy to play quite stealthily, to be honest, because you don't have to run everywhere in Battlefield. I find myself I run quite a lot simply because I don't play classes that require a lot of stealth. I only really use a suppressor for those kind of things, but if you are one of those guys who likes to stay off the minimap as much as possible, it's quite easy to do in Battlefield 4, but it doesn't make you completely invisible because of course as soon as you start sprinting, you're going to be appearing on the minimap anyway. And the last one is Quick Unspot. Now this one is fairly self-explanatory, but I will just sort of explain how it works anyway. In a normal Battlefield game, when you are spotted, you will remain spotted for 7 seconds, even if the player looks away from you. With Quick Unspot in Battlefield 4, you will stay spotted for only 5 seconds if the player chooses to look away from the target. If you continue to look at your target for more than 5 seconds, they will remain spotted. You will be able to continue spotting them as long as you track them in your sight. So really, I can only see this being useful if you're a sniper that's camping on top of a rock or a building somewhere, because you will be unspotted 2 seconds quicker than you normally would, you'll disappear off the minimap, and the chances of you actually being detected by the enemy team or other people that are playing on the team as well and come up and find you is actually reduced. Now that's it for the perk system, but I just want to throw a couple more things into the video. Recently I was watching Battlefield 4's new marketing campaign where they've got a couple of guys from the playtest explaining some of the moments that they've had, and I spotted another heli camo. Now this one is pretty awesome. It's sort of a marine aqua blue again, but this time it's on the Chinese faction's helicopter, so that one looks bloody awesome. There's a couple of screenshots rotating around there now. And also, DigiKeys are finally starting to sell custom PCs. They went live on the website today, so if you are interested in moving over to PC gaming, then head over there right now, and don't forget you can use my 25% off code that's appeared at the bottom of the screen, and you can get 25% off everything in the store, and that includes the custom PCs. And with that, we've come to the end of the video, guys, so thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to drop a like down below, and comments are always appreciated. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.